Hello and welcome to a new Hearts of Iron playthrough. We're going to be playing as a Democratic Hungary. Now, Hungary starts out the game as a mostly fascist country, but has a very large democratic party. So I thought this might be an interesting start because basically we're going to be in direct conflict with the German Reich. Because they're going to come over here, they're going to be trying to take all this land, and then we're going to be a democracy. So it's going to give us a chance to play a bit more defensive, and will hopefully force a little bit more strategy out of the game. As when we were playing as Portugal, it was fine, but we basically just beat up a Spain that was kind of fractured and easy to destroy, took all their factories, took all their infrastructure, and just used it to steamroll the rest of the game. But as Hungary, I don't think we're going to be able to do that, and as a democratic nation, there's going to be restrictions on us declaring war, which I think will be kind of cool. So, let's start what we're going to be doing. So first things first, is we're going to have to try and get this Democratic Party a little bit larger, which means that we're probably going to want a political advisor, and we're probably going to want, which one are we wanting? We're probably going to want this guy, Joseph Sell. So, well, let's see how that goes. We need 150 political power. Let's select a national focus and start getting that stuff going. Political effort just gives us 120 power straight off, and by the time that finishes, we should probably be getting close to 150, so we'll do that. Political effort. We'll get that started fairly early. Other things we want to do, we want to be setting up our armies together, and we probably want to start training our armies fairly early as well. So let's see what we've got in terms of technology right at the start. So we have weapons level 1, and supports or all of that. I'm seeing if we have anything that's ahead of anything else. Armor, we don't have tanks. We might want to research some tanks this time. We didn't research any last time. So I will push that one in. We'll maybe get some tank divisions on the way. Anything else? Artillery we'll keep as it is. Land doctrine, might want to have a look at this. Naval, well, naval seems like a little bit of a bad idea, as we have no boats. But we do have an airport, so maybe we want to do some air stuff this time. So maybe go into some fighter planes, maybe go into some bombers, depending on what we want to be doing. We might want to go quite hard on the fighter planes and then try and use them to just control any German bombers that are going to appear. I'm assuming that Germany is going to be our main problem, but actually a lot of the people around here might be problems, because Yugoslavia could easily switch to a side, Romania could switch to a side, we might even have Soviet Union being a problem if they get over here. Austria already start off fascist. Czechoslovakia, I believe, get eaten by the German Reich fairly easily. So, yeah. A lot of problems. Let's see what we got. But yeah, we could go into fighters. We could get some more of those. Okay, we could also go for some air doctrine. Engineering, again, we could get some of this like we did last time. Get some research time going up. Seems like a good idea. And industry, yep, we could have a look at this. So I think what we want to do is we want to increase our construction speed as our first thing. The reason we want to do that is that allows us to get more factories, that allows us to produce more goods. We want to get tanks because these are 1918 tech and we should probably have them by 1936. And if we're going to use tanks at all. And we probably want production efficiency caps so we can produce things well if we keep producing them. We have free factories and we have free civilian factories. We have low manpower, which is something that we'll generally have until we actually get to war, and we have insufficient resources. So let's set up some production lines. Let's see what we got. Production lines. So, how many free factories do we have? We have 3 free military factories. Can be converted to civilian industry if needed. Nah, well, let's not do that. Let's keep them as they are. And this says that our needs are filled, so there's no reason to put more factories on apart from to get the production efficiency, which actually is a good enough reason, so we'll just stick them on. Does mean we're going to have to pay for more stuff, but that's fine. Constructions, we have 5 consumer goods things. We're just going to build a couple of civilian factories. How many spots do we have? We have 2 spots. We have 4 spots, sorry. 2 spots in each thing here. So how about we build 2 civilian factories in each, and then we build some military factories in each. That seems fair, seems reasonable, seems like something we can deal with. Okay, so do we have any planes currently? I know that we have some armies. I want to have a look at our planes that we have. Would it be go here? We have 1 fighter, is that it? Is that all we have for all of this? Yeah. Oh no, we have 24 planes and 72 airplanes. So one fighter division, was it? Different air bases? Ah, I clicked on the wrong air base. Alright, so we have one fighter division in each air base. Oh no, we have close air support in this one and one fighter. Okay, cool. We'll keep them both in reserves because we don't need them until we actually go to war, but it's still useful to know that we have them. Right. All of these people here, we're just going to stick into an army. We're going to give it a field marshal if we have one. Don't have a field marshal, so we'll just promote this general. Yep, there we go. He's field marshal. And we'll get them to garrison the area. There we go. And then we'll get them to do some exercises, which it's up here. Exercises. The units will consume equipment while gaining experience. Your country will also gain army experience from each unit whose experience level is at least 2. Seems like a good thing to me. And we'll get that army kind of going. Recruitment. We want to be pushing more for reinforcements and upgrades currently, as we have no upgrades that we really need to... Like, there's no request for them, but there's a lot of requests for recruitment. For reinforcements. And then we want to train some people. So we probably don't want to train any of these guys just yet, because these are our cavalry units, and we don't really need any cavalry at all, because we're going to replace them with tanks. In fact, we should probably get rid of our current cavalry if we can. I suppose we could just upgrade the template type, and that would get rid of them. But we do want some infantry going. And that should be fine. We'll just get a couple of infantry lines going, and we'll just set them to locations. We'll set them here. And we'll set them here. And that'll just allow some infantry to slowly build itself up. Shouldn't be too bad. And we'll just set them to... See, well, let's set them all to medium and then set upgrades to low. And that gives us a chance to put some high stuff down later. Okay. Production queues, anything we're not building? We're not building any artillery. Do we want artillery to be built? Probably. But we have no experience to change any of our lines here. So let's just start up some artillery being built, and we'll just assign a factory to it, and then that factory will get some, if I understand it, the factory will get a production efficiency cap going up. I might not understand that correctly, but we'll see. It's not like we're moving factories away from other stuff, although actually we do need more of these than we're creating, but that's fine. I think that's whatever. If we need these, we'll do it, and once we fill up that amount, then we'll create the other thing there. We should be building aircraft, though. Definitely should be building aircraft. And this is how you create variants. Somebody did tell me how to do this, because I was wondering at the end of the Portugal campaign, but that's cool. Which one are we going to replace first out of those two? Let's go to air. Well, we don't want to build fighters, we want to build CAS, close air support, right? Because this one's going to be out of date very quickly, while this one's going to stay in date. So if we're only going to build one of them for just now, we might as well build CAS. Yes. Do we need to... We don't need any transport planes yet either. So we'll go with this one. We'll put in one factory. That's fine. And then we can start doing some trade. Okay, who do we want to trade with? Well, who do we have the most influence with here? We can maybe start... Well, United Kingdom would be an option, but there are no trade routes. Okay. France? They're fairly close. They could be a good ally, although it's going to be difficult to get... I'm sure there's going to be problems with trade with them eventually. But we could try France. Anyone else who's closer? Not really. I guess we're going to go with France for just now. Yep, we'll do that. It's going to cost one civilian factory, but that's alright. Would cost one civilian factory, whatever we did. Rubber, I guess we'll just stick with France for just now then. Unless we've got someone like Romania who's nearby, who has any. Or Yugoslavia. Influence. Yeah, I want to set it to highest. Nope. Nobody's really close enough, I don't think. Oh no, there's Romania. They have 2. How much do we need? We only need 1, and while we only need 1, we might as well just get it from somewhere close by. Okay. Was that it? Did that actually give us enough? And steel? Yeah, we're already doing it. So if I wait a day, that'll fix. Okay. Well, let's speed the game up a little bit and let it run. Just see what happens. I think we've gone through everything we need to go through. Yeah. Yeah, that was fine. Still insufficient resources, it says. So delivered 2 out of 2. What do we need? We need 6 steel. Okay, steel. Oh, that was steel we were getting from Romania, not... oh, never mind. Can I cancel? How do you cancel an order? 0. There we go. I actually don't want anything from you because it's steel we need much more of. We'll get it from France then. That's fine. I thought it was rubber we were getting from Romania. There we go. And that should fix that problem. Yeah, good. Now, do we want to improve relations with anyone? We probably want to improve relations with France and the UK. They would seem like good choices. How much do we need to improve relations? 10 political power. But it is higher until we switch our ideology. Okay. And now we'll just speed the game up to max and let this army exercise a little bit. First thing that's going to finish is our national focus, and that will give us some power to change what's currently happening. And that should hopefully make everything just a little bit better. Our divisions are training up fine. No real problems. Okay. Good. These guys are taking some attrition, but that's because they're exercising. And they'll take attrition while exercising, and that will then cost us production. And that's the downside to the exercising. Yep. Airplanes are moving up to their production efficiency cap, while these guys have already reached it. Yeah. And we're pretty much getting rid of all the infantry equipment that we need, which is fine. Once that gets to 0, that'll be when we'll switch over to creating some artillery, so that we have some available for reinforcement. Cool, cool. How long are constructions going to take? I'll be complete in a year, so it's going to take a while. Okay, first event, the remilitarization of the Rhineland. Germany has stationed troops in the Rhineland territory close to the French border in clear violation of the Treaty of Versailles. The local population cheered the German soldiers on, while the diplomatic relations from France and Britain have so far been muted. It is no more than the Germans walking into their own backyard, a political commentator in Britain observed. Worrying. We finished our national focus at the same time. So we're going to select a new focus. We're going to select... Well, I suppose there's no reason to... We can't select this one yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on industrial effort. And this will just give us a research buff for industry, which will allow us to do more construction. Which seems like... It just seems like a safe start. Because we don't really need to do anything... We're not going to be at war straight away. So we can kind of take a little bit of time to just sit back and relax a little bit. We're also going to get our political advisor. We're going to get the daily democracy advisor. And that'll work. Move towards democracy. If we silence the voices of our people, how can any of us claim to be the voice of Hungary ourselves? If we fear dissent, if we fear being publicly denounced or ousted by the public vote, what we truly fear is that we are hated and reviled by our own citizens. Does the Horthy government really have so little confidence in its principles? A careful and loosely organised but passionate faction in the government has begun to push for less repressive policies against enemies of the state. They want the public involved in decision making through referendums and local party meetings, even if this means risking the future of the current agenda. So do you want to discuss this internally, or knowing that we're in the right, we can afford allowing our allies to talk more openly? Increases the chance of people voicing support for democracy and forming an opposition. Increases the chance of internal support for arranging elections. Let's go internal, as I believe that this one means that it might happen quicker, but there's more chance of a revolt, or at least that's what's happened in my experience. But this one is, you know, slower, but it might have more chance of just being peaceful. I don't know if there's, if it's like 100%, this is what this one does, this is what that one does. I haven't looked into the files or anything, but just from my experience, it seems like that's the best option if we don't really want to have a civil war going on in Hungary. Anyway. Yeah, we'll just continue building up. So that's the industrial effort on its way. We have some of these researches about to finish. We're about to finish basic machine tools that should give us a little bit of extra production efficiency. And that should mean that our production will be going a little bit better. We've almost filled our entire need for infantry equipment, which is good. And something that we definitely needed done. And our buildings are still being built. Yep. Any recruitment actually working? Well, not really. They're just kinda... They're there. They're not really recruiting very quickly, though. Cool. We'll just sit back and wait to see what happens in the world. There is a lot that's gonna happen very quickly. And I have noticed the start of this game is very slow, but it very, very quickly speeds up. Industrial effort is done, so we need new tech. What are we gonna go for tech? Oh, that was actually our national focus. Never mind, it finished 2 days before the tech. I think we probably want to go for just more of this. Just more construction effort. It just gives us more civilian factories, allows us to build more factories quicker. Seems like a good idea. And we definitely want to fill out all of our factory slots as quickly as we can. Also gives us extra building slots, and given we don't have that many building slots, it's really, really useful if we want to have good production happening. There's basic machine tools happening that increased our production efficiency cap. We could go even further on it, but that will take 124 days. Let's find something that's in... So this one would take 90 days, so this takes an extra 30 days to get extra production efficiency cap. Dispersed industry gives us more factory output, but they're more vulnerable to bombs. This one gives us more factory output, and increases max factories in a state. This one also gives us production efficiency retention. And this one just gives straight factory output. I like straight factory output, actually. Let's go for that. Let's go down this line. Cool. Anything else that's about to happen? I think we're about to finish some more technology, right? Yeah, 40 days. Some of that's finishing. We're about to get another political power thing, which will allow us to get a little bit closer to that. The Spanish Civil War. Civil wars erupted in Spain. Several generals seeking to overthrow the current government in Madrid have issued a pronouncement, and a large portion of the Spanish armed forces have answered the call to arms. This right-wing nationalist faction has occupied much of Spain, including the overseas territories. Lawless forces and volunteers have assembled under the left-wing Republican government, determined to resist the push to their last breath. The battle for Spain has begun. What will this mean for Spain? It means that nationalist Spain has declared war on Spain, and that the whole world has got a little bit more foggy by the looks of it. I don't know if that's a little graphical glitch, or if that's meant to happen. Anyway, yes, Spain has kind of broken up, and lots of people from all sides will be sending people there. We're not going to send anybody to Spain, because we don't really have a horse in the race. We're going to just stay over here, we're going to be nice and peaceful, and we're just going to kind of hold out for now. Okay, let's have a look at ourselves. We're not quite at full democracy. Democratic opposition forming. Relaxing the restrictions on what sort of anti-Horthy government propaganda can be spread publicly has predictably led to an increase in public expressions of dissent. Organised demonstrations and pamphlets are so far found mostly in academic institutions and some of Hungary's more unfortunate areas, but there is little doubt that the movement is spreading. The nation's leaders are torn over the issue. Miklos Horthy, who maintains an iron grip on party leadership, has little desire to diversify public debate. The first steps have already been taken, however, and there may be no turning back. The movement appears to grow naturally in the absence of repression. That's a little bit odd. Anyway, popularity goes up by 10% and we lose a bit of national unity, which actually means that the Democratic Party has the majority. So we'll see if that has any immediate effect. Don't imagine it will, but we will very quickly be switching. It might mean that we don't have to put all of our political power towards switching to democracy. We do have another political person we could put in. So we could put in somebody who gives us more political power gain, which could be useful. We could go for trade deal opinion factor plus 10%. So I think that means anyone we're dealing with in trade gives plus 10%, or does that mean that if we have an opinion bonus, our trade will cost less? I don't know. Either one sounds good to me. Or monthly opinion just goes up by plus 15%. Okay. I don't think we want to do any of those. I think we want to actually get some production going. And we want to get the industrial research time to just go down. We want to really go very much on the industrial research side. Just for just now. Anyway, this seems like a good point to end the episode. Thank you for watching. As it is the first episode of a new series, I would like you to like, dislike, comment, interact with the video, share it with your friends, do anything that you can, because it really helps out with search ranking and really helps the channel as a whole. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.